What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, come on, you know I don't watch that shit.
Why not? Too scared?
No, it's just what's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
Hello! And welcome to episode 26. This is Kim and Ket Stay Alive, maybe.
We are a horror movie comedy podcast, and we're going to tell you every single detail, spoilers included, of a horror movie that we watched.
And
but here's
see
the
if
twist.
we can be the final girl, bitch!
Woohoo! Yeah, so one of us watches. We're going to let the other one decide what they would do in the situations that the characters have found themselves in, determine whether or not they stay alive.
That's Ket.
And that's Kim.
Yeah! Fuck.
We've never done that before.
You know, I didn't like it. Fucking cut that shit out.
Leave it in.
What should we talk about right now?
Do we have any reviews? Do we have any amazing
We do.
listeners?
We also have a review contest or giveaway. Giveaway, not contest, but like whatever. I don't know what it's called.
So we talked about this on the last episode that if you write a review, then you will be entered into a drawing to win an awesome new Kim and Ket Stay Alive mug.
Yeah, you can pick your design, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll let you pick.
Yeah,
so check out our merch store and you can see all the cool designs in case you want to get anything else.
I love our fucking merch designs, dude.
Me too. I'm actually super excited about the new ones that we did. I
love
really
it.
like it.
Yeah,
and
so
we'll have more stuff coming too.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, kimandketstayalive.com, and you click on the shop, and you can see all of our MFN merch.
There's also links on our social media. Mm-hmm. Twitter and Instagram are at kksampodcast.
Yep.
And you can see all the good shit in there too. Ketrin's on Twitter and Kim's on Instagram.
Yeah. Cool.
And then you also get Dana. It's a song, a review song. You get a song.
So wait, what you're saying is
song.
Getting entered into this drawing does not replace the song as I thought.
No, Ketrin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that why you came up with that idea for
Yeah.
giving away a mug? Because you wanted to get rid of the songs? Good try.
Oh, God.
Great try, Ketrin.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, cheers to you, Ketrin.
Cheers.
Cheers to the Sammies. We're still singing if that's a okay thing.
So far, Kim and I are the only ones using them. We're just going to keep
Does anyone
doing
like it? I don't know. Tell us.
We're just going to
Has
keep...
Sammy's a good thing? Or
Let us
KK Sam Fam? I like both of them. I'm interchanging them.
I like Sammy's.
So, Medea Lee. I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize.
How do you spell it? Spell it to me.
Madia.
Medea. I would say Medea.
Medea, right?
Yeah. Madia.
Medea, probably.
Madia? Yeah. Sure.
Medea Lee.
Medea Lee.
Medea Lee.
Medea Lee.
Medea Lee. Thanks, Medea. You fucking rule.
I really like that name.
I know, it's pretty.
Was that our review?
That's it.
Awesome. Cool.
Thank you. I appreciate you and everyone for listening.
Kim and I also got to be...
We did a cool thing.
Yeah, we got to be special little ladies because... So you guys have probably heard of Dread Central. They're an amazing platform for horror movies, everything horror. So they're making movies now, which
they
is
are.
so fucking awesome. And our friends over there wanted us to get a little sneak peek of their very first movie that they've made.
We got to watch it before anyone else.
Yeah, it's produced by Epic Pictures, and it is a movie
Dread
called
Central.
Dread Central, and it is a movie called The Golem. What'd you think, Bernsey?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
I can see why. There was a couple moments where, like, in the beginning, I was like, "Oh yeah, I see why he thought that we would like it."
Yeah, it's definitely got like this. So it takes place in like the 1600s in Prague, and it's got
In where?
Prague.
Lithuania.
Well, it says Prague in the beginning.
It says Lithuania in the beginning.
Okay, well,
Well,
Dread-
now everyone has to go fucking watch it and
go
tell
and
us.
tell us. It's Prague or Lithuania. So,
Oh, also, the deal is it came out everywhere yesterday.
yes. So all of the places.
So you guys can all watch it now.
Yeah,
we'll
let
tell
me-
you where at the end.
Yeah, okay. But I felt like it had so many elements that were like, Ketrin, this is the shit you like.
Exactly. 100%.
Where it was like super, like a woman in the 1600s who's like, being a woman during this time sucks. And because I always say that, I'm like, if I was born in any other time period other than right now, I would have been burned at the stake.
Yeah. And,
Constantly.
I also like at one point she's kind of like at the old timey gynecologist, and I was like, never even thought about that in my life before.
Old timey gynecology, and it was like an apothecary shop.
Right, exactly. And there was like at one point, like they say like, oh, this thing, because it's like we don't want to spoil anything, but they're like, oh, this thing makes men go crazy, let alone what would happen to, like a guy is saying this, and then she's like, a woman. And I was like, yes, bitch.
She was so fucking awesome. And then so it had, because I love old timey like period piece horror movies, and then it also had a creepy kid, which I fucking love. Hate creepy kids.
It also had gave me lots of feelings,
Gave me lots of feelings,
which I love.
I mean, that's my favorite kind of horror movie where
Me
it's
too.
like, we're not just going to bring you the jump scares and the gore and the slash. We're also going to like write a movie about people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the guy who played the dad, the husband, I was like, oh my God, I love you so much.
Yeah, it's like you really care about them.
Yeah, it was so, and
then you're like torn because you're like, I get it.
I know.
Oh,
and
fuck.
so for those of you that are also into like the slashery aspect of horror movies, there's some of that in there too, which I was like not expecting. Like all of a sudden I was like, blood?
There's some shit.
I was like, oh my God.
There was some shit, and it wasn't just at the gynecologist apothecary.
No, it was so. She was the acting was great in it too.
She was really good.
I was really excited about it. But yeah, there was some fucking down with the patriarchy.
There fucking was. And I loved it.
There was some mysticism. There was some creepy kids. There was some
I've given you all the feels.
I've given you all the feels. There was good acting. I'm into it.
I'm in.
And all I'm going to say is I'm thinking about making a golem. So
should we make our own golem?
Should we make our own golem?
Golem?
Let's make one.
Should that be our new co-host?
Yes.
That could be who we tell the new movies to.
We'll
we
tell
finally
our movies
fucking
to
figured
the-
it out.
We'll tell our movies to the golem.
Oh my God, yay. Now all the movies that come out new that we want to watch together, we can tell it to our golem.
Yeah, and just make sure, guys.
Thank fucking God.
Because here's the thing, like the golem gets a little mad when you guys don't like do what we say or aren't nice to us. So like
Yeah,
when you're
bitches.
writing those reviews, you're gonna want to click 5 stars.
Understand that we have a golem now.
Yeah,
so.
like not for us, for the golem.
No, yeah,
like,
no, totally.
We just want to keep you safe.
You just have to keep the golem happy.
Yeah.
Do you hear us?
Do you hear us?
Keep the fucking golem happy.
So here are the places where you can watch it. It's, oh my God, it's like fucking everywhere. This is so great.
Yeah, and it came
Everybody
out
can watch
yesterday.
it. Yeah, it came out yesterday, February 5th.
We'll also post some things, I think, on our social media, probably.
Yeah, totes. So you can see it on in demand, which I guess is the cable portal for Charter, Spectrum, and Comcast cable. I'm not sure what that is, but if you have in demand, I'm sure you know you have in demand. Comcast, Dish, Sling TV, Vimeo, iTunes, Vudu, Xbox, PlayStation, Google Play, Amazon, Fandango Now. Do you know that there was a Fandango
Yes.
Now?
My British lover used to work for it.
Oh, okay. Direct TV. And if you want a physical DVD and you can't find a DVD store to go to,
Fuck you.
you can go to those red box, like those red boxes that have
Right.
DVDs in them.
The red box.
Yeah.
That is what a DVD store is now.
It's
the
just a
fucking
red
box.
box.
That's a DVD store.
Yeah.
Also, I just like to post out. I would just like to fuck you all. I would just like to say that I just saw someone post that in the movie Cam with the DVD store, she was not buying DVDs. She was in fact buying video
games. I know someone
You
told me that too.
fucking bitch.
I had no idea. I don't buy video games. I don't I don't
and
get
all of
them.
That makes so much more sense.
I know. It does make more sense to me as well. I'm not going to lie. I was like, why this bitch stocking up on DVDs? But
Anyway.
if you do want to stock up on a DVD, go to Redbox and go check out The Golem.
The golem, so we can all hang out with our own golems.
Yeah.
We'll have a golem party together.
Oh, that'd be cute.
That would be so fun.
I love it. It'll be like a little play date for our golems.
Spells.
Yes. So anyway, thanks for sending that over, friends over at Dread Central and Epic Pictures.
Yeah.
We loved watching it and we feel so special.
High five to you guys. We really appreciate it. And we're super excited. We are super excited to watch it and super excited for other people to watch it and tell us, is it Prague? Is it Lithuania?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let us know.
Okay. So, Burnsy.
Yes.
Did you also watch
Another movie? I did.
Cool.
I watched another full movie.
Wow.
It's a fucking good one.
Ooh. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's also for our dear friend Brian Sharp, who saved our audio.
Yep. From 47 meters.
So this is a movie. Well, it's Hellraiser. Everyone already knows. You've clicked on the button.
Yeah, you
to
know
play
what
this.
we're watching.
But Katrin, do you know anything about Hellraiser?
I feel like I may have probably seen visuals from it
Right.
at some point, but like Hellraiser and Eraserhead are two movies that I mix up in my brain, so I don't know which one we're talking about.
Okay, well, fantastic then. I thought that I had seen it. I hadn't.
Okay.
So maybe I saw because I think there's 4,700 of them now.
Okay.
So maybe I saw a different one.
You saw
not
the
first one.
4700th.
And I also thought that maybe I at least know what it's about or
Okay.
parts of it. I didn't.
You don't. Okay.
I didn't know any of this.
So now I know even less.
I thought it was, well, we can talk about it later. But anyway, this is Hellraiser and I'm fucking excited.
Oh my God, let's hear it. Let's raise some hell.
So it's from good old 1986.
Okay.
It is in the 80s.
Yep. And it's
For
got
sure.
some 80s vibe happening.
It does.
Great.
It's written directed by the amazing Clive Barker.
Ooh.
And you, as of this moment, maybe it'll change, have the opportunity to get 33 points.
Okay.
Okay. Katrin,
Yes.
are these people dead or alive?
Oh gosh. Okay.
Larry, the dad.
Oh, Larry the dad. Dead.
Julia, the wife.
Dead.
Kirsty, the daughter.
Alive.
Steve, the boyfriend.
Dead.
Frank.
Alive. Inexplicably so.
Okay.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Oh, those are all my dead or alives? Okay.
it.
All right.
I can't express to you my excitement.
I know
for
you're
telling you
like
this movie.
fucking glowing right
I mean,
now.
shout out to Brian Sharp for suggesting
Oh my
it. I don't know why it
God.
wasn't something we already thought about doing.
Yeah. You're like
I'm
losing
too
your
excited.
mind right now. Jesus. All right, let's hear it.
Look, we don't claim to be movie buffs or horror movie buffs, and
We're just fans.
We're big time fans. So there are lots of ones that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
And it's like we don't even know what we don't know.
Yep. Until we know that we didn't know it.
And now
we
we're
know.
about to know. We open on a box.
Okay.
And it's like a decorative little box that you could hold in your hand, like the size of a Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
And it's kind of like golden decoraty. And it's on a table and it kind of like is slow zooming out from it. And we kind of hear like music in the background. Like it seems like maybe it's just a slow zoom. So we're never getting like that wide. And so we're only seeing the box on a table pretty much. But it seems like maybe I get the idea that we're at one of those like outdoor markets of like India or something like that. Like sort of thing. Just from like the sound and like what looks like maybe where we are. And we hear, it kind of seems like there's two guys sitting on each side of the table. And the first thing we hear is, "What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton?"
Ooh.
And
What is your pleasure, Mr. Cotton?
the other guy says, "The box."
The box.
And he puts down money with like ugly hands with dirt in the fingernails and stuff. and slides money across the table. And the guy says, "Take it, it's yours." And he gets up and he takes the box.
Okay.
And the other guy says, "It always was." Dun, dun, dun. What? Cut to this guy who took the box, apparently. He's shirtless and sweaty. I'm into it.
It's like a hot shirtless and sweaty?
Yeah. Like I wrote, hey. Okay. So he's just like in a big room, basically surrounded by candles, kneeling down with this box.
Romantic.
And he's just, I'm into it. He's opening the box, and it's kind of like a puzzle box, maybe. Like, so it does different weird things. Like,
yeah, I know
you
what
move
you
it
mean.
around.
Yeah.
And different parts pop out or part in or whatever.
Parpin.
Go fuck yourself. And then we kind of start to hear some noises. And then it kind of is like some wind starts blowing. And then like lights kind of start shining through like the panels of the windows a little bit.
Whoa,
and it's very
dude, the
slow.
sun just came out as you fucking said that. It's been raining for like 30 million days in Los Angeles. And the clouds just broke and the sun came through right as Kim was describing that. Fuck.
And
I'm gonna get hell raised.
so there's noises and wind and slowly lights, and then bam, hooks shoot out with like lightning bolts, and they hook into his skin and like pull his skin apart. Like a little bit, like hold on to it.
Owies.
And then we cut to
Like
another
fish hooks, kind of?
fish hooks. And then cut to another part of the like the kitchen, or like in a house, and there's food just left out, like disheveled everywhere. And like a door kind of slowly opens, and we're going into like the basement, and there's like chains hanging from everywhere, or we think it's I don't know, it's like something. It's chains hanging from everywhere with bloody body parts connected to all of it. Just like hooks with chains and like blood and like body parts and skin and
thank
things.
you. No, thank you.
Just everywhere. And then
And this is in this dude's basement? The box dude's basement?
We're assuming.
Okay.
Nothing is clear. It's a lot of cuts to cuts to cuts.
Great.
You guys know me and my panic of writing down things while it's happening. So then I was like, young ? Needlehead, Pinhead's what they call him. You know Pinhead, right?
I like Needlehead better. We're calling him Needlehead from now on.
It's disrespectful, I feel like. Even worse that I think it's a young version, because it turns out it was like a whole other person. But like, it's just like, we're just looking through the chains, and like you start to see, I was like, oh, it looks like a young Needlehead walking around, and then like picks up pieces of face and puts them together. Face skin.
Oh God!
To kind of make like an actual face.
Rubik's cube.
Just randomly putting pieces of face. Together.
I would like my faces to come intact.
And then the box.
Also, I am familiar with Pinhead, by the way.
Okay,
like that's the only
same.
Literally it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's in reference to. I know nothing.
So the box starts to like kind of turn and goes like kind of back to the beginning again.
Okay.
And then it's like electric lighting, bam, empty house.
Oh no. Okay. Oh, what?
Now, there's a couple fighting outside the door, trying to get in, being like, the key won't work. And they come in and they're very 80s.
Sure.
She's got some shoulder pads.
I'm assuming some bangs. I'm assuming.
No, she's actually got a short haircut.
Oh, that kind of 80s. Okay.
Very shoulder pads. It's clearly their like new house. And the guy's talking about how it's been 10 years since he's been here. He wanted to sell it after the old lady died, but couldn't get Frank to agree. And they're kind of like, oh yeah, like where is your brother? And he's like, oh, probably behind bars somewhere.
So Frank is the brother.
That's kind of what we're getting.
Okay.
There is lots of Jesus things around this house.
Oh Lord.
Lots of Jesus.
Oh no.
The couple's
scared.
kind of having a little fight about moving. Turns out the woman is British. So now I'm sensing that they're like, oh, maybe we're in England.
Oh, okay.
Because he's kind of like coming back to like your land or something.
Okay.
So British shoulder pads, and the man's named Larry.
Oh.
And he's very much a Larry.
Yeah.
He's very like white bread Larry.
You can't be like a suave, sort
Old
of
Lair.
cultured dude and
Yeah.
be named Larry.
So it's like Larry.
Sorry to all the Larrys out there.
Very sorry, but let's be real. So they're looking through the house. He's looking in the kitchen. There's just like bugs everywhere. It's that same scene we had seen, like the food out everywhere, the same kitchen, but now there's just like bugs all over everything. They go upstairs into one bedroom, and there's like kind of like a makeshift bed on the floor with like a bunch of like pictures, and they're kind of like, is it like squatters? And he's like, no, looks like Frank was here.
Oh, Frank. God, get it together, Frank.
So now the daughter calls the house, and she's like, oh, I found a room. And Dad Larry is kind of like, you can just stay here. And she's like, no, I got a room of my own. So she's like, you know.
Are they all speaking Brit or just
No,
British lady?
Just British lady.
Okay.
These two are American.
Okay.
But she's, you know, probably late teens, early 20s, something.
Sure.
So could still kind of live at home with them, but also
May
live on
not
her
want
own.
to, yeah.
So Larry's downstairs on the phone call, and British Shoulder Pads is looking through Frank's stuff. And he has a bunch of pictures
Oh, no.
of women and him like tied up in like sexy ways.
Oh, no.
No, it's good.
Oh.
I liked it.
Oh,
It
it was like
was in.
in a hot way?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
No, it wasn't like a murder way. It was
Oh,
like
it
a
wasn't in a murder way. It was in a hot way.
It seemed like an enthusiastically consensual way.
Oh. I have a different picture in my head now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so just looking through some pictures. it's okay.
Is Frank
okay.
hot?
I'm not into it.
Was Frank in the
thing
pictures?
is- yeah.
Is Frank hot?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Frank, we think, is the guy, the shirtless, sweaty guy. Looks the same.
Okay.
So,
Sup, Frank?
yeah, and you know, see here's the difference, everyone. We've talked about it before.
And we'll talk
Team
about it again.
enthusiastic consent.
Yeah.
If
Not
you
just
get
consent.
tied up,
Enthusiastic, continuous consent.
yes, continuous. And if you get tied up and you're not into it, not consent, not good. That's
Right.
a murder scene. But
If you're into it, then that's a sexy scene.
times.
Is everyone clear about that?
We like it.
Here endeth the lesson.
So the daughter's got to find a job, blah, blah, blah. British Shoulder Pads takes out one of the pictures of Hottie McFrankerson and saves one.
Oh, bitch, saving
Like, keeps it in her pocket. And I was like, okay.
Okay,
What?
you do you, girl.
The couple gets back together, and, you know, they're kind of like Claire's like, so? Like, what do you think? Come on, it's better than Brooklyn, right? And
Come on, liar.
And British Shoulder Pads is just like, why not? So now they're moving in. They have a real pivot situation going on. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's a scene from Friends. Check it out.
I send it to Kim sometimes sometimes I just binge watch Friends, and there are certain scenes that I know are going to make Kim so happy. And that's one of them. And I just
me so happy.
film it and I text it to her with no
She's a true friend.
Yeah,
It makes me so happy.
That one, and when he's giving this reading the speech. Yeah.
Okay, so they're pivot trying to get the bed up the stairs.
Okay.
This is like a 3-story house.
Oh, good Lord.
And so the stairs go kind of like twisty back and forth a little bit up.
Oh my God, higher movers.
So it's Larry and 2 dudes helping them move.
Oh, okay, fair
I'm going to
enough.
say movers. And at one point, they're kind of just standing there. So they're still at the bottom of the stairs. And like, they're kind of like, should we grab a beer? And British Shoulder Pads just standing there. And there's like tension. And she's like, I'm like getting the sense she's a little like stuck up maybe. Because like Larry's like, okay, fine. I mean, I guess I'll get it. Like, what else am I doing?
Right.
So the daughter's like walking through the neighborhood. She goes into the house. She gets a little sexually harassed by the mover guys.
Oh, come on.
I was like, move it along. And then she specifically calls British Shoulder Pads Julia, not mom. Like she's like dad and then
Julia.
British Shoulder Pads.
Okay.
And again, the movers say something about like, oh, she looks like her mother or something. And the dad goes, her mother's dead.
Oh
So
you're not my mom, British shoulder pads.
we get the family dynamic. So British shoulder pads has a picture of Hottie McFrank hot.
Okay.
With a girl. But this is more just like him with a girl like behind him. And so she like rips out the half of the part with the girl in it.
Oh.
So it's like just
shit.
Frank now.
Bitch is thirsty for Frank.
And then it cuts to a scene where Frank is standing outside of the door in the rain. And she opens the door and he's like, can I come in?
Yeah. Sure.
I'm the brother, Frank.
I'm the brother, Frank.
Or something like that. I don't know. And
I'm
I'm just
the
like,
brother,
I wrote, oh,
Frank.
shit. Like, it's clearly like a fantasy that she's having now. And it's like a beginning of a porno.
You're like, what am I watching? Brian Sharp. What did you have us watch?
Kirsty comes and interrupts and is like calling for her.
Kirsty's the daughter?
The daughter. Okay. So the British shoulder pads is like creepily standing on the top floor and like goes into the attic. So let me explain the top floor. So we basically have one stairway looking up.
Okay.
And there's going to be a door to your left and a door to the right.
Okay.
The door to the right is the attic that we spend a lot of time in. When I say attic, it's the door to the right.
Okay.
The door to the left, we don't know what's in there right now.
Okay. And that's at the top of the stairs?
Yes.
Okay.
But like when you're looking up, you can go one of those two ways.
Okay.
Okay, so she goes into the attic. There's nothing in there.
Okay.
But she just basically clearly wants to be alone so she can keep fantasizing about Hottie McFrank because then, you know, he starts to offer her drink and talks about like, oh, like, aren't you in wedded bliss now with, you know, and, you know, don't I get to kiss the bride? And then he kind of like pulls her in like almost like a little like aggressive. Oh my God. That way. And he's like, what about Larry? And then he kind of has like a switchblade knife that he flicks out. And she says, forget him. And he starts slow caressing her with the knife.
Oh my
and then
heavens to Betsy.
And then cuts like her little nightgown strap with it. And then she licks his fingers. And I'm just writing, oh shit, I'm thinking about how I have to talk about this on the podcast because I was really into it. And now they're on the bed.
Did Brian Sharp have us watch a porno?
I don't know what's happening. I didn't know that this was what Hellraiser was. Why didn't anyone tell me this before? So now they're on the bed now. And now we're cutting back and forth and cutting back down to the movers and Larry trying to pivot still.
Oh, God, he's still trying to pivot. Larry, God, get it together.
We cut back and they fucking.
Oh, they are.
They fucking.
Oh.
And then so it just keeps going back and forth between like fucking pivot, fucking pivot, fucking pivot, fucking pivot. And then as they're pivoting, Larry cuts his hand on a nail and it's like blood shoots out.
Oh, Lord.
And I just wrote, what is happening? And Hottie McFrankerson says something like, it's never enough. And present day British shoulder pads is crying. And I'm like,
God.
what?
What is happening?
And then Larry is yelling for British shoulder pads, British shoulder pads. And in the fantasy, British shoulder pads says, please, I'll do anything you want. Anything.
Anything?
And then the door opens. And Larry comes in.
Fucking Larry.
Oh, fucking shit. And I got too excited. A bell dinged. Dinged early. Sorry, guys. I'm too excited. Oh, God. It was a pre-bell.
Pre-ding.
Pre-ding.
Kim pre-dinged.
Oh, God. Okay. Is it hot in here? I'm hot. Is it just me? I'm a little hot. The door. Larry comes in. His hand's bleeding. He can't handle it. He can't handle blood.
Larry can't?
Larry can't handle blood. He can't look at it. He's holding it. Larry.
Fucking Larry.
Larry can't look at blood. He'll pass out. It's very 80s big droplets of blood hitting the attic floor.
Right.
Like we're seeing big drop.
Yeah.
Blood like hit the attic floor.
We should do Foley.
I gotta take this jacket off.
Oh my God. Kim, you guys. Kim is unrobing right now over this movie.
That's because it was so cold in here before.
And then you started talking about this and you got a little heated.
Okay, anyway.
All right.
The blood's hitting the floor.
Shloomp.
Clare can't handle it. He's got to pass out. And so, British shoulder pads is like, look, he's going to faint. She looks at it. She's like, okay, you need stitches. And then we look down at the blood splashes, with the camera, and they start to kind of like just disappear into the floor.
Uh-oh.
Like seep completely into it to the point that they're gone.
Uh-oh.
And it's like pans down kind of through the floor, and we see almost like a weird like spider cobwebby bloody situation. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going down there.
God, I don't want that.
They're all going to the hospital now with daughter Kirsty as well.
Okay.
So it's an empty house, and the attic floorboards start moving, like shaking.
Shit.
And the nails start popping out.
Shit.
And then, pardon me, we see bubbling and like oozy, like something starts like oozing out. And then something like shoots out. What? And I write arm ? Ish. And then another thing shoots out. And I'm like, oh, yes. Okay, arms. And maybe slowly like a bug body. Wait, what's happening? Oh, wait, now that's turning into a brain?
What?
There's rats in the attic that are freaking out. Okay, wait.
So what you just told me is an arm brain bug shot out.
No, let me keep talking.
Okay.
It's still expanding.
Okay.
I'm just talking about it like second for second because I'm like, what's happening?
Gotcha.
Arm, maybe head. Now that's turning into a brain. Now that thing is like lifting itself up, and now hands are starting to come out, and it's all goopy and oozy and blood like oozy goopiness. And now ribs are showing. Now it's the whole top of a skeleton, and it's like so now like the whole like Skeletor
gross
thing
group
is there. Came
it.
out of the ground.
Okay.
Cut to dinner with the family and some friends at their house.
Okay. British shoulder pads, Kirsty and Larry.
Yes.
Okay.
And some family friends, it appears.
And not to be I just want to be clear that the whole Frank doing it was a fantasy she was having.
All fantasies.
Okay, great. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I thought she got there pretty quickly.
Right.
For just seeing a couple pictures, but we'll go on.
Hey.
You like what you like.
You like what you like.
So it's, dinner with fam and friends. Claire's just making jokes.
Oh, Clare.
Just Claire and, daughter Christy's like staring at like the guy across from her who's like kind of more her age, but like they're like into it, I think.
Him?
Yeah.
Like a
and then I
boning
find out
stare.
more.
Okay.
But I'm like, oh, they're into it. And then he like pours her wine and she's like, stop, I won't be able to stand up. And he's like, so lie down. And I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? No.
I didn't like it.
Bitch, walk away.
British shoulder pads is going to bed. And I was like, yeah, she is. And so the others are like, oh, I guess we'll leave too. And Claire's like, no. We're celebrating. Like, she's like, I'm just not feeling well. I'm going to go to bed. They kind of have like Claire and British shoulder pads have a little bit of an eye moment where things just aren't great between them. They don't seem great in their marriage.
Yeah.
So she goes upstairs to like the second floor and then she hears creaks like above her. So she goes to the attic door. She goes in and she sees like a mush spot that looks like maybe vomit or something had just happened there. Same spot that we saw,
Right.
But it's just like, what the fuck with rats? And then bam, a skeleton mush hand grabs her leg. She screams and she backs up to the door. And then the skelebody arms like army crawl towards her.
No.
And she tries to open the door, but it stops her. And so she's like has her back to it. She's against the door, but it had like slammed it shut. And it says British shoulder pads. And it has very human eyeballs. And she's like quietly freaking out. And Skeletor says, don't look at me. And she's like, who are you? And it says, Frank.
It's Frank?
And she's like, no. And he says, his blood on the floor brought me back. Help me.
Frank, you're not looking great. Oh my gosh.
Cut down to the 80s white people laughing at the dinner table.
Sure.
Drunk daughter Christy is like stumbling around the upstairs now, like the second floor.
Girl, you gotta watch out.
And cut back to the attic, and Skelefrank is like, they like kind of hear somebody, hear her stumbling around. And he's like, you can't leave me like this. And she says, what do you want me to do? He says, blood brought me here. I need more. help me, like,
to like form
heal
himself.
Me. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, heal me. So daughter Kirsty's in the bathroom, and she comes out, and British Shoulder Pads is just standing on the stairs above her.
What a creep.
And Skelefrank is like watching them through the doorway. And Christy's like, "You all right?" And they just have like a weird stare down.
She's like, yeah.
And then wine guy, curly haired wine guy, interrupts.
That was like trying to give her too much wine.
Yeah. He interrupts, and they're like, "Okay, we're going to leave now. Good night." So now it's those two, daughter Kirsty and like curly haired wine guy, walking home. And so they're like just walking through the streets. And he's like, "Why don't you stay at Larry's? There's plenty of room there." And she's like, "Yeah, but British Shoulder Pads is there."
Yeah.
And she kind of notices like a creepy guy staring at them, like from like a alley or something somewhere, you know, just like staring at them. And she's just like, I don't know, like they just keep walking, but it's like whatever. But anyway, she's talking about, you know, she's like, British Shoulder Pads is just uptight and frigid. And then they just get like real flirty, flirt. And then they like kiss. So I was like, okay, they were into it. And then I think turns out maybe they're even in a relationship.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I didn't know any of that from the beginning.
Right. It just seemed like he was trying to get a bitch drunk.
Exactly.
And yeah.
So, yeah.
It's also, and it's also the 80s. So we're like, who knows what the fuck this asshole's going to do.
No idea. So Larry and British Shoulder Pads are in bed. Larry's asleep and he's just talking in his sleep. British Shoulder Pads is awake and she goes to Fantasyland. Sweaty fucking, I think. Is that what I'm writing? I don't know. Sweaty fucking Frank. And he says, "Anything?" And she says, "Anything.
But I won't do that."
So what does she decide?
To give him her blood.
And what would you decide? To give him her blood?
Yeah. To give him
What
her
would
blood.
you decide?
Oh, no, wait. No, wait. I'm going to change that. I think British Shoulder Pads agrees to give him Larry's blood.
Okay.
And I am going to give him my blood.
Okay.
Because I don't feel like murdering people.
You get no dings.
Motherfucker.
So she goes up to the attic, and Frank at this point is like creepy, gross, slimy Skelefrank. The door opens and British Shoulder Pads goes in, and he says, "You'll do it?" And she says, "Yes, I will." So then we cut to this weird thing where daughter Christy's like in a room. We hear a baby crying. There's candles everywhere. There's a body with a sheet covering it, like laying in front of her.
Oh, no.
And feathers are like flying everywhere. Like it's like windy. And then blood like starts like seeping through the sheet until it's like almost completely red. And she pulls it off and like a face pops up. And I think it's Larry, and she screams and then she wakes up. It was a nightmare.
Oh.
And curly haired boyfriend dude wakes up, and Christy is having the nightmare. So he wakes her up.
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh my gosh, Daddy, I need to call him, make sure he's okay." So cut to them on the phone. Larry's going back to bed, and she's like, "Christy had a bad dream." And Skelefrank is like on the top stairs, and he just says, "Kirsty."
Oh, no.
So
Skelefrank.
next day, badass British Shoulder Pads leaves the house.
Okay.
Her and Skelefrank have a little moment through the window, and she's at a bar, and this guy starts hitting on her.
But he's like looking real fucked up, right?
Yeah, no, he's
British
like
Skelefrank.
a skeleton with goopy bloodiness on him.
Oh, so like
Like a thin layer of,
Okay. I'm
like
with
he
you.
needs a lot more things to be a person.
Right. Gotcha.
Especially right now. Like he's still like, I don't even think he can like stand up. He's still army crawling places.
army crawling. Okay. So he needs skin. He needs blood. He needs
some
organs.
stuff.
He needs a lot of stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
great. I'm with you.
Yeah, he's real goopy and skeletory right now. So she's at a bar having a drink, and this guy starts hitting on her. What does she do, and what do you do?
So she lures him into the bathroom to steal his blood. What do I do? Have him buy me a drink. Gotta get a free drink. What's up?
You would. I'm going to give you a point for that.
Thank you. For getting a free drink or for
For getting a free drink.
Oh, cool.
she brings him back to the house. And he kisses her. Mm-hmm. She gets a little uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, you're not going to change your mind now, are you? And then I was like, fucking kill him.
Yeah. Bye.
Maybe she is.
Boy, bye.
Maybe she
can
is.
change her mind whenever
Anytime.
she wants.
Anytime.
She can change her mind fucking mid-penetration, bro.
Yeah, bro. So anyway, she's like, no, let's go upstairs. And they go to the attic. And they have an awkward, slow conversation and they start kissing though. He starts like undressing, like takes his pants off. And then he's like, oops, too much to drink. Gonna go take a wee because he's British.
Sure.
He starts to kind of open the door, but he's locked. And he's like, did you lock this? And she grabs a hammer that was hanging on the wall. And what does she do? And what do you do?
Hammers him in the face. That's what she does in the head. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I'm holding a hammer, and he did make that comment downstairs about whether I'm going to change my mind. So I'm going to hammer him in the face as well.
Okay. I think for right now.
Yay! Double dinged it.
Right now, I think you'll stay alive. She hits him over the head.
All right.
Again and again.
Wait a minute. So she didn't lure him into the bathroom, but she did lure him somewhere to take something from him. I think I should get a half a point from that other question.
She lured him to her own home, though.
Right, but she lured him somewhere to take his life blood.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay, so she hammers him in the head.
He falls dead on the floor, and we just hear Frank say, "Don't look at me." She leaves.
Okay,
and Skelefrank army crawls up to the body.
Skelefrank army crawls up to the body. Oh God, I love it.
Lady Shoulder Pads is in the bathroom, kind of washing her hands, just breathing heavy, like fuck.
I just fucking hammered somebody in the head.
She goes back to the attic. Now, the body, she's still bloody though. It's like she didn't even like clean herself up enough. Like I was like, "What are you doing? What were you doing in there?" Now the body, the dead body,
clean blood off yourself.
Has been like. It's like the muscles have been sucked out of it almost.
Oh, so it's just like a deflated,
kind of weird. Yeah, something like weird. It's like something has been sucked out of it.
Oh my God,
almost.
show me all of these pictures, by the way.
There's so much good stuff. And then we just hear, and standing muscle Skelefrank.
Oh, because now he has
he's got a little bit more on him.
Okay.
Still goopy, still Skeletory.
But he's adding
a little
to the collection.
Okay. And he's like, see, every drop you spill puts more skin on my bones. Come here, I want to touch you.
No, thank you.
Come here.
No.
Come to daddy.
No. No, thank you, daddy. No. Let's wait till we have a little bit more skin on you, okay?
Come to daddy.
No, please
That's like
don't.
how he says it too. He's like, he says it really weird. Come to daddy.
Kim, I'm going to need you to never say that ever again. Tell you what, if you never say that ever again, I'll never wear that fucking beret ever again.
Well, I can't take that bet, Katrin.
Then I am wearing the beret.
So, as much as I wish I could, I can't.
You heard it here first, Allison. Kim did this.
It's not my fault. It's Hellraiser's fault. It's Skelefrank. You know? So they kind of have like a slow hand touch a little bit, but it like immediately gets sexual. Like their eyes start to be a little like sexy eyes.
Still into Skelefrank?
Sexy eyes. And then we hear, hello?
Oh, Larry.
Larry's home. He's just whistling through the house. British shoulder pads? British shoulder pads, where are you?
I'm sorry. Did Larry... Whoa, that was a good whistle. Did Larry walk in and say Larry's home? Because that's what...
No, I don't think he did, but...
That's what I'm going to do whenever... Hi, honey. Ketrin's home.
I'm going to start doing that too. Hi, no one. Kim's home. Skelefrank, are you here? Oh, hi.
Hey,
oh,
Skelefrank.
Hi. What's up? What's up, boy? How you doing?
You look... How's that? You looking for some more skin?
Yeah. How's that goop body?
What?
So she is like, fuck, Larry's home. So she carries dead muscle body. Like she throws his clothes onto him and like carries him up and into the other room. So now how we could like at the top of the stairs, there's the attic and then there's the other room.
The other room,
and just throws him in there and goes into the bathroom.
And he's just like kind of a lump. Like
I don't know. It's like we don't
mass.
see. She actually just like goes into that room and like comes back out.
Okay.
And then runs into the bathroom.
The guy that
she's
is
just
holding
like a
mass.
I don't know what the fuck it was.
Okay.
It's hard to like explain. It is
I'm
confusing.
gonna need
I didn't know
so many fucking
It's also
pictures.
like 80s on top of all of it.
Right,
like
right,
whatever
right.
was supposed to be happening was done in the 80s on top of all of it.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
And so anyway, Larry's like, British shoulder pads, didn't you hear me? And she's like, I'm feeling sick. You know, so she's in the bathroom. She got beat down in the minute and like it starts like washing the blood off her face. Of course, she goes back up to the attic and she's like, Frank? And a muscle hand grabs her. And he's like, I'm hurting. These nerves are starting to work. I need 1 or 2 more. And then we can get away before they know. Oh, before who knows?
Before who?
The Cinnabites.
The Cinnabites?
We have to get away before they know I've slipped them. We must get away.
No joke. I'm not kidding. I think that's a delicious, tasty cinnamon treat from Taco Bell called Cinnabites. I'm not kidding.
I knew as soon as I said Cinnabites, it would somehow turn into cinnamon bun something.
Yes, because what else am I supposed to think of? Cinnabites? They're delicious. Okay.
That's not what these Cinnabites are.
Tell me about these Cinnabites.
Claire calls again, and she's like, I'm coming. So,
Fuck, Larry, I'm coming.
and Frank's like, oh, yeah, we don't want Babe to hear
Babe?
about Larry, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, we can be together the way we were before. We belong to each other. Whoa. So then I realized, oh, shit. Maybe British shoulder pads and Frank have some history. So it wasn't such a brand new, like she saw 1-2 pictures and fantasized about it.
She was like going back into the archives.
Maybe.
All right.
So, and then she rubs his gross muscle goop finger on her mouth.
No.
And then bam, a monkey is screaming.
I'm sorry.
We're at a pet store. It's a monkey in a cage.
I'm still at
screaming.
Goop finger,
Yep,
rubbing her
that's
face.
what happened.
And now I have to transition real quick to monkey
That's
scream.
what's happening.
Okay.
Kirsty, turns out she got a job at the pet store.
All right.
And she's talking to
That
some
sells
lady
monkeys?
who
A
needs
pet store
help.
that sells monkeys?
I didn't think about this at the moment, but
That is not allowed.
that doesn't seem right.
You can't sell monkeys at a pet store.
We'll go back. I'm pretty
let's-
sure it's a monkey, though.
Okay. Let's talk about this.
It sounded like a monkey. It looked like a monkey. I was like you. I was still on the muscle, finger situation.
Yeah.
So, and then I was just, it was a.
Are you sure it wasn't a bird?
And then a lady was talking. So
Okay.
it was a quick jump.
Could have been a
It's
monkey,
unclear.
maybe a bird. Okay.
You know, there's a lot going on.
All right.
I was creeped out.
So we're in the monkey store.
We're in the store. But Kirsty's helping a lady, and creepy guy is there.
From the alley?
From the alley.
Okay.
Is in the store. And he's like standing against a wall, and she starts walking towards him, and he just stares at her and reaches his hand into like one of the cage kind of things, and it seems to be like an aquarium thing with like maybe crickets. And just grabs a bunch of crickets, all staring at her, puts them in his mouth and eats them. Staring at her.
No thanks.
And she's like, get out. You need to get out. And so he just walks out and like stares at her.
No, I'd rather you didn't.
And then all of a sudden, curly head boyf is right behind her, boyfriend. And he taps her, and he's like, what's wrong? And she's like,
I knew exactly what you were saying, but for someone who doesn't know you, you just said curly head boyf.
curly head boyf is the curly head boyfriend.
I got it. It's just, I love it.
I think it's transitioned. Everyone understood, right?
I got it.
Well, he's curly haired boy for the rest of time.
Yeah.
So
Crickets are high in protein.
we get to, I think I ate them in Mexico City.
Did you?
Or grasshopper. Something.
Probably grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they put it on everything there. It
Yeah.
was like just in the guacamole and shit, like always.
Really? What is it? Were they like whole?
Yeah.
How was it?
They're called something because then on Christmas Eve, all the guys at work were making them too and trying to get us to eat them. And I was like, no, I ate them in Mexico. I don't want them.
Oh
and they
my
call
God.
them chicatores or something. And
Interesting.
That's incorrect, but it's chica something.
What is the taste of it though?
Like nothingness, like what you would think like a nothing bug tastes like.
A nothing bug.
It's
Okay.
just crunchy.
Yeah. So it's probably just whatever
Just
the
to, like, add
flavor.
crunch.
Yeah. And whatever they season it with.
Like, I don't want crunch in my guacamole.
I have headphones on right now. When you make these crunching, chewing noises, they are in my brain.
That's what it tastes like.
Tastes like the crunching, chewing noises in my brain right now. So we're
British shoulder pads and a new guy.
Bitch gets around.
Going into the house.
Jeez.
And we immediately cut to the guy being killed and Skelefrank grabbing the body. And now British shoulder pads, I wrote, a fire.
Oh.
Now there's just a long shot of her, like, kind of, this must be like later, you know, like she's just like in the living room. It's like the sides of her hair slicked back. Ooh. She's got her blue eyeshadow on and her red lips on. And it's just like this long shot of her, like holding like smoking a cigarette, holding a drink. And she's just like it's like she turns into like a slow smile.
Oh, shit.
Like she's just like, fire.
Bitch means business.
So now Skelefrank has a little bit more skin, but still slimy. And now he has a shirt on and he's smoking a cigarette.
Frank, you need skin before shirts.
And
please put your skin on before your
shirt.
Like
bloody goopy shirt now.
No, Frank, don't.
And he's smoking a cigarette and he's like, I can actually taste it. So British shoulder pads is like, are you going to give me an explanation?
Right. Can I have an explanation for your goop?
And he says, the box.
Oh, that box.
This is it.
And she's like,
she tries to grab it. Zing!
I pointed to my vagina listeners.
Yes, she did. So, no. The puzzle box.
The puzzle box.
And she tries to grab it. And he says, don't touch. It's dangerous. It opens doors to pleasures of heaven or hell. I didn't care which.
What? Frank!
And it cuts to him with the box and the candles, surrounded by the candles, like that flashback thing. And flashes of the Cenobites.
Delicious.
And he's like, I thought I'd gone to limits, but they took me beyond the limits of pain and pleasure.
Whoa.
So then we see kind of like flashes of each one of them, and it's what I call at the time young Pinhead, which turns out is just like a female Cenobite, and I call her something else later once I find out more about her.
Okay.
But it's more that just like, you know what Pinhead looks like?
Yeah.
Like she just has like younger, smoother looking skin, so I thought it was just like young.
Pre-pin.
Pre-pin. Okay. Puberty pin.
Yeah.
And like has a little bit of like pin in her cheeks.
Yeah.
Situation. So I was like, oh, baby pin, you know?
Baby pins, yeah.
But I write young Pinhead, OG Pinhead, fat chin guy, and chatter teeth guy.
Chatter teeth. Oh, God. I don't like any of these.
Yeah. So Pinhead looks like Pinhead. Fat chin has a fat chin. Chins.
Yeah. Got it.
And sunglasses on. And then chatter teeth is just like, his mouth is just like this. And he's just like,
no.
Like
please.
just big wide mouth.
Oh,
like,
God. Oh, God. I hate this.
And they have like kind of, you know, Matrix gear on.
Sure.
They won't get me back. They'll never find us together. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, Frank.
So anyway, cut to later. Larry and British shoulder pads are watching boxing, and Larry's like, I thought these things made you sick. And she's like, I've seen worse. So she's just really like
she's just really coming into her own.
So, and we hear Attic Frank like slamming the walls, and Larry is like, what is that? I should go up and check the
attic.
She's
like, nothing, Larry.
And she's like, no. And it's kind of raining. It's storming outside. She's like, it must just be thunder. And he's like, no, I should really go check. How does she stop him? And how do you stop him?
She seduces him. She uses her feminine wiles. What do? I also use my feminine wiles.
Okay. I'm trying to decide. Sometimes they're hard to decide what will keep me alive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let me just think this through for a second. Well, regardless.
Yay! Double ding!
It's a good try. So
You're such a condescending bitch. It's a good try. I'll give you dings for trying.
No, that's exactly what she does. She kisses him. Yeah. And it's just like, Larry, come on.
There's no sexy way to say Larry.
No. I mean, I'm sure I could do it, but
we're having a lair off.
Do you want to do it right now?
Yeah, let's do it. You go first.
Start laughing.
You do it first.
Larry. Oh, Larry.
Okay, you ready? Larry. Oh, Larry. Cut all of this.
I'm okay with it. It's funny. So,
Larry? Larry.
Larry. Larry. Larry.
What is happening?
Larry. Get over here, Larry.
That was a very 80s way of saying Larry.
Anyway, she kisses him there and like the stairwell now making out. But fucking Clare still has to go check it out.
Larry, god damn it.
And so they're like, all right, we'll both go.
Take a hint, man.
And they're at the top floor now. And he opens the door on the left. And I'm like, oh shit, body? What the fuck? And he opens it and it's just kind of like furniture with sheets all over it.
Oh,
so I was
okay.
like, okay, we might be safe.
Yeah.
Then he opens the attic and
You are very much team British shoulder pads, and she is a thrice over murderer, by the way. But you are team British shoulder pads. You're like, I want makeup tips. I want sex tips.
I think she won me over with her outright sexual desires.
Like, she's just like gives no fucks.
And I was like, I dig that, lady.
Yeah. You get your goopy Skelefrank.
I never had to make the decision to kill anyone or anything. I'm just along for the other stuff.
Gotcha.
You know what? You got to do what you got to do for love, Ketrin.
I agree.
So then we open the attic and it's empty. And there's just like one chair in there or something. And like there's like some like
upstairs
squeaks.
to the attic, right? Like there are two sets
We're
of
already
stairs.
on the top floor.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's basically like the left side attic and the right side attic.
Got it.
It's just I'm calling the one room the attic. The other one just has apparently furniture with sheets on it.
Okay, cool.
This is all the top floor.
Okay.
No, they're like directly across from each other.
Okay.
So there's like maybe like rats squeaking or something, but like nothing's in there. And we do like the camera cuts to like rats nailed to the wall though, a couple of them.
Jeez.
And they're the ones that are like, and I was
Rude.
like, God,
go help those rats.
So they're like, let's go downstairs. Now they're in the bedroom and they're kissing on the bed and lightning is flashing and Skelefrank kind of walks by the bottom of the bed.
Oh, God.
You just see like a flash of it. And the couple's making out on the bed and Skelefrank comes out of the closet with his switchblade. And British shoulder pads her back is laying down, so Larry's on top of her.
Right.
And so now she sees him and she's like, no, don't stop. And Clare keeps kissing her.
Right.
But Skelefrank stands over the bed and is holding a rat and slices it in half long ways.
Why, Frank?
I don't know.
Why did
And
you do that, Frank?
British shoulder pad is just like, no, stop. And she almost starts like crying. And Skelefrank like scuttles back into the closet. And Larry's just like, I don't understand you.
Oh,
At 1 minute you're all over me and 1 minute you're telling me to stop. And so he leaves.
Poor Larry.
Cut to a restaurant. Larry and daughter Kirsty are having dinner. And he's like, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have come back, you know? And she's like, well, it's better than Brooklyn. And, you know, you love her. So there must be something to love about her.
Oh, God.
And he's like, it's not that simple. Like, she never wants to leave the house. It's like she's like waiting for something.
She's waiting
And
for
he's
that
like-
Skeledy.
He's like, maybe you could come by and like try to make friends.
Okay.
So she's like, yeah, okay. So cut to Skelefrank and British shoulder pads. And Frank is just like, you can't love him. And she's like, I don't. And he's like, so what's the harm? And she says, no.
Don't kill Larry.
And Skelefrank is just like, then fine, find me someone else before they come looking. So cut to British shoulder pads and a new guy entering the house. And now we see Kirsty walking up
She's gonna see
to come say hi and sees British shoulder pads and
With
a
a new
fucking
guy.
stranger walking into their home.
Shit. The jig
Fuck.
is up.
So we're up in the attic. Skelefrank has the hammer. Kirsty's downstairs, like trying to open the door, but it's like locked. So I think she goes around the other or something. The guy's upstairs in the attic. He's like still alive. Skelefrank like grabs him and is like, British shoulder pads, get out. Now Kirsty's like in the house, in the kitchen. So she's downstairs. She hears a loud bang upstairs. She starts walking up the steps. British shoulder pad hears her coming, and she hides in the room on the left.
The other side.
Right.
Where the furniture is. And the lumpy body.
Yes.
Okay.
And so now Kirsty is looking. She's almost at the top of the stairs now. At the very top where the doors are. The attic door opens. And a half life sucked out of him man reaches his arm out towards her and says, "Help me."
Oh, good. What is sucked out of him?
I don't know. It's like hard to explain. It's just like his face starts to be like
just drooped. Okay.
Droopied. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like droop face.
So he's like half drooped. Got it.
Yeah. And Skelefrank comes out and says, "Kirsty, it's Uncle Frank."
But he looks busted as hell, right?
"Kirsty, it's Uncle Frank. Come to Daddy."
No, please don't come to Daddy.
And she says, and he kind of like grabs her jacket a little bit and she's like, "Get the fuck off me." And she like spins out of her jacket and spins into the attic then.
No.
And now they're inside the attic and he's like, "You've grown. You've gotten so beautiful."
Oh,
and she's like, "Don't touch me." And
is he still goopy? Like,
yeah.
Real goopy. Okay. I didn't know if maybe he sucked some non-goop from the guy.
Goop.
He's still goop. Okay.
But I think he's like wearing a shirt, you know.
Oh, well then that's fine.
He slow pushes her up against the wall and she's like, "This isn't happening." What does she do and what do you do?
Oh my God. She's not into it. Does she kick him in his goop balls? I'm going to kick him in his, or she's going to kick him in his goop balls. I'm going to put my thumbs in his eyeballs and I'm going to run out and I'm going to call the police.
Okay.
And then set the house on fire.
I'm going to give you both of those.
Oh my
She
God. Kicks him in the goop balls.
doesn't do exactly that, but she shoves her hand into his goop stomach and it's just like goop comes out. It's like her hand goes into him and then out of him and it's just like... So he kind of like falls over, but then like she kind of falls to the other side a little bit and grabs the box.
Oh shit.
And as she grabs it, it's like little like lightning little things come out of it. It's like anytime you see it, it's just like little tiny lines. And she picks it up and she's about to throw it. And he says, "No, give me that." So she stops because she's about to like throw it at him.
Right.
And then but then he's like, "No, give me that." And she's like, stops. And then she says, "You want it?
You want it, bitch?
Come to Daddy."
Fuck, stop it.
What does she do? What do you do?
I'm going to, so Ketrin is going to throw it away from him and then run the opposite direction. So it's like if the door is to the right, I'm going to throw the box to the left and then run out the door because I'm going to assume that he's going to go after the box so it doesn't get destroyed.
Got you.
What does she do? She smashes it.
Okay.
One day.
She says, "You want it? Fucking have it." And she throws it out the window and then runs out of the attic and outside and grabs the box outside. And now she's running through the streets with the box.
Oh, shit.
And now she's walking through the streets.
So what did I get a point for? I kind of switched them, I guess. A little bit.
I gave you a point for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, because now she has the box.
Okay.
So she's walking through the streets and she's looking rough.
Oh. Like just...
She's not good.
Well, she's
unwell.
Oh, she's unwell.
She's unwell.
Okay. Like some sort of goop.
Just remember. No. Like she's just like, what the fuck
just
happen?
Okay.
Like it's just like flashes of Skelefrank.
Okay.
And then she just passes out on the sidewalk.
So mentally unwell.
Mentally unwell.
Okay. Got it.
Yes. Mentally unwell. So she passes out on the sidewalk. Now Kirsty is in a hospital bed. She wakes up. No. The nurse goes and gets the doctor. And Kirsty's trying to like stand up and she's like, "I need to call my father." And they're like, "Back to bed." The doctor pulls out the box.
She passed out. Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
The doctor pulls out the box and is like, "What is this?" And she's like, "I don't remember." the police want to speak to you. And he leaves the box and leaves and locks the door, which
Locks the hospital room
seems
door?
not right.
No, that's
But-
not right.
You know, it was the 80s.
Yeah. People fucking smoked in the goddamn hospital bed in 1990.
So now the box has like some kind of lights a little start to light up, and like maybe he's playing music, or this music, I couldn't tell if it was coming from the box or just like the movie.
Yeah.
One side like opens, and then she touches like one more part, and it's like lighting, and then she like tries again. It's like she's moving it around a little bit, and then the wall slides open in front of her.
Oh no.
It just goes.
She's in the
And then there's a long hallway in front of her. What does she do, and what do you do?
She walks down the hallway to investigate because we're in an 80s horror movie. I will tell you exactly what I will do because I've done it before. Did you ever used to have nightmares as a kid and like you couldn't tell like what was a nightmare and what was real kind of thing? I would pull the covers up over my head and curl up into the fetal position and try to go to sleep until it all went away.
Okay. She goes down the hallway.
Okay. And me staying in the fetal position in the bed wouldn't keep me alive?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
I think something will happen.
Okay. I think that's the first time I've ever been the one to put a blanket over something.
I know. You literally put a blanket
Yeah.
over yourself in the
I
entire
did,
situation.
yeah.
You were like, I'm not dealing with this.
Goodbye.
So she goes in. We hear kind of distant screams. And then down inside it, we see like a dark figure.
Oh, no.
And it's a creepy bug monster that's like human size scorpion, but upside down with, I think, a face down at the bottom and maybe one on top as well. And it's chasing her. Now she turns and runs back, and I'm like, ah! And then its teeth, it's got pointy teeth, and it's chasing her. It's a big, giant bug monster, scorpion monster chasing her.
She should have stayed in the bed.
Back to the room, running back to the room. She made it. And then, I don't know, somehow the wall closes before the thing gets through, and she hears like squeals like behind it.
Now, Kim, I ask you, would she have been confronted with the scorpion man monster if she had stayed in bed? I think not.
I think what I'm saying is the scorpion man monster would have came through regardless.
Would have come through. Okay.
And like actually come all the way through then, and then you'd be real dead.
Okay.
So she's back in the room now.
Okay. She's not having a good day.
She's not. What does she do, and what do you do?
I think she tries to open the box. Mm-hmm. What do? I fucking throw that box out the window and make it somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. Yes. Double ding.
I mean, there was no window, but just for you get it. She grabs the box and she touches it some more and does some more weird shit with it.
Don't touch the box.
And then light starts coming, like kind of like through the wall, from behind the wall. The TV starts going crazy.
No.
The little saline bag, like blood starts like seeping into it, and then it explodes.
No.
And then like the light explodes, and then there's like lightning, like electric shooting everywhere, like and then Chatterteeth Man
No. This is fucking insane to me.
with no eyeballs and just big, huge, open mouth.
Oh, God.
Slow walks to her and immediately goes directly to her and puts two fingers inside her mouth.
Why? Stop it. Get your
Like
hands
it's just
out
like
of my
it was
mouth.
such an immediate like thing that happened. Like it was just like walks towards her, two fingers in her mouth, and just like holds her against the wall with two fingers in her mouth. And I was like, I'm so uncomfortable by that. Like it's such a simple, weird thing.
Yes.
And then more electric lightning. Pinhead appears. More lightning. Fat Chin with sunglasses appears. More electric lighting. Oh wait, no. Pinhead says, sorry, I got carried away. I turned my page. That wasn't happening. Pinhead says, the box. You opened it.
Bitch, that's why I told you not to open the box.
We came.
Fuck.
And she's like, it's just a puzzle box. Oh no. It's a means to summon us. Who are you? Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others. And it's just like wind is blowing and blah, 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 and she's being held against the wall with, and then she's like, it's a mistake. Go to hell. And then young Pinhead, who's actually a woman. And now I'm like, oh, now I see that she's just an open throat hook face.
What?
Like
what?
Her throat is open. It's pulled open by hooks that are then connected through her mouth.
Oh, I need so many pictures. Also, I'm sorry, sidebar, but this Kirsty bitch is fucking nuts because let me just lay out for you what just happened. She touched a box and a hallway opened to a dimension where a scorpion head monster chased her. She then closed the portal and went back to the box and said, I bet if I touch it again, something cool will come out this time.
Wasn't a good choice.
Nuts, dude.
Wasn't a good choice.
That's really crazy.
Wasn't a good choice. So open throat fan is just like, because she's like, go to hell. And she's the open throat says, we can't, not alone.
Oh no.
Pinhead says, you must come with us.
I don't want to. I'd rather stay here. No, thank you.
Does she then try to do, and what do you try to do?
I think Kirsty, I keep wanting to say Kirstie Alley. I think she tries to destroy the box. Mm-hmm. And I want to be away from the box, but I'm in a room with no windows, correct? Okay, so here's what I would do. She tries to destroy the box. I'm going to try a new tactic here. I'm going to ask some more questions. Mm-hmm. So I'm not even going to say like, no, I'm not coming to hell with you, you jerks. I'm going to say like, tell me what you are. You said to some of your angels. Let's hear about that. Like, I'm just going to try and get some more information from them, a stalling tactic so that I can learn what the fuck I'm up against.
Okay. Interesting. That's interesting.
Like, it's almost like we're demons to some and angels to other. I almost want to play into the like, ooh, maybe you're angels to me. Tell me about that.
I'll give you half a point for yours.
Okay.
Because it's hard to say how that would go, but it's a good tactic.
Okay.
She does something kind of smart. She says, wait.
Can I have a half a ding, please?
I did.
Okay. Well, you can't really hear it, but it's fine. That was a half a ding, everyone.
That is half a ding.
That was a half a ding, everybody. All right, go ahead.
At this point, I've given you 1.5 things. They know, Catherine, calm down. So she says, wait, you've done this before, right? Frank, he escaped you. And they're like, no one ever escapes us. And she's like, no, he escaped you. I can lead you to him. I've seen him. Like, I can take you to him and you can take him instead of me.
Nice, Kirsty.
Right?
She's fucking ruthless.
Right?
Do not fuck with Kirsty.
The ladies in this mean business.
They're like, I don't give a fuck.
And they're just like, okay, but if you cheat us, we'll tear your soul apart.
Chill, dude. Fine.
So
over dramatic much?
British. That's Pinhead. That's classic Pinhead.
Classic Pinhead.
You know him.
Yeah.
Always getting his needles in a bunch.
T-shirt.
So British shoulder pads and Skelefrank are now talking, and they're like, fuck, Kirsty's going to tell everyone, but British shoulder pads is like, no, she's definitely going to warn Larry first. Uh-huh. Then the phone rings, and they're like, fuck, that's probably her or the police. God, we need to leave. But Frank's like, no, I still need new skin.
Possibly a gallbladder. I'm missing out on stuff here.
So, and then they're like, oh my gosh, Larry's going to be home soon. Cut to Larry opening the door and British shoulder pads just waiting for him.
Okay.
And he's like, what? And she says, I don't know where to begin. It's best you just see for yourself. Cut to the hospital room. It's empty.
Okay.
It's the nurse and Curly Boyf are looking. They're like, she's gone.
Like, where the fuck is Kirsty?
She's gone. Okay, maybe she went back to her dad's.
Okay.
Curly Boyf and nurse have discovered that. So now cut to back to the house. British shoulder pads. We cut to a man's hands like in a shirt walking down the steps, kind of like, it's just close up on the hands. And he's like cracking his knuckles.
Okay.
With a shirt on. British Shoulder Pads is sitting down in the bedroom at her vanity with candles lit and a drink and a cigarette. Man walks in, still kind of close up on just like his hand area. Like we can't see all of him. Walks in and the hand caresses her face and there's some blood smear on her face. And then there's a bandage on the hand.
Okay.
And I think,
Larry?
remember when
Larry
he got
cut
that
his
nail in
hand.
his hand?
Yeah.
And then they fucking. They fucking. So
Is she fucking Larry?
we can't tell.
We can't tell.
They just fucking.
Okay.
These two people fucking. Now, Kirsty runs up to the door outside and starts banging on the door like, Daddy, Daddy. British Shoulder Pads. Now, this must be a little bit later. Opens the door. And she says, yes.
This is my house, bitch.
Well, no, it's not.
It's if your dad lives there, it's your house.
Yes, but it's British Shoulder Pads' house too.
Yeah.
So she's like, yes. And she's like, Christy's like, where's my dad? And like runs in past her. And there's a man sitting at the vanity tapping his fingers. And now we see it's Larry.
Clare?
He's a little bloody, little sweaty, little goopy in the hair area.
Okay.
And she's like, Daddy, and hugs him and she's crying. And he's like, it's okay. And she's like, I need to talk to you. And he's like, it's okay. British Shoulder Pads told me everything. And she's like, no, Frank is upstairs. He's trying to like, you know, and like, they're just like, what he did was unspeakable. And he kind of gives little eyes to British Shoulder Pads with like a smile, but he's gone. He's dead is what Larry tells Kirsty. And Kirsty's just freaking out. And she's like, I need to see him.
Yeah. Me too.
So he's like, okay, show her. So British Shoulder Pads takes Kirsty up to the attic. And we just see like a Skeletor bloody body.
Okay.
And British Shoulder Pads just straight leaves and closes the door.
What a fucking bitch. Oh my gosh. There you go. You wanted to see it. Bye.
Yeah. She's like,
Here it is.
bye.
The fucking 80s.
And then so fucking Kirsty like turns and runs back to the door and like is banging on it. And then we hear kind of like behind her. She turns. It's all the Cinnabites.
Oh no. Let me see if I can name the Cinnabites, like the 7 dwarfs. So we have Pinhead, Throat Monster, Chin Man, Chatterteeth, and is that it? Is that all of them? And Scorpion Man.
Scorpion Man was his own kind of thing.
His own thing. Okay.
Yeah, the
So
Cinnabites.
did I get all the
I
Cinnabites?
just think it's just those 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are not my names for them, but close.
Okay.
I forget what I end up calling the last one. Because it's Pinhead, Chattermouth, Fat Chin, and
Throat Monster.
Throat Hooks.
Throat Hooks.
That's what I call Throat
Okay.
Hooks. So they're all there and they're like, we want the man who did this. And the Skelebody is now magically surrounded by candles. And I'm like, okay. But Kirsty's like, no, he's
It's
my
the
father.
80s.
Like, you can't have him.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, we want the man who did this. So they're like, she's like, no, you can't have my dad. So she runs out of the attic and down the first flight of stairs. And then bam, British Shoulder Pads is just there and like puts her hand down across the thing. And she's like, move. And then they like weirdly like slightly wrestle a little bit. And then Kirsty just gets through. It's very weird. And very 80s.
Very 80s.
So Larry is downstairs and he's like, what's wrong? It's over. And she's like, no, we have to leave. And Larry's like, no, stay here. We'll be happy. And she's like, no, we have to leave. And Larry says, come to Daddy.
Nope. But
And then Kirsty realizes,
it's not
oh my God.
It's Skelefrank with Larry's skin.
And he slow walks up to her and holds her face with his hand. And then she slashes his cheek. And
Yes!
it's like entire chunks of skin fly out.
Yes.
And then she runs towards where? And where do you run?
I think she runs towards the Boyf's house. And I run to the police station.
No, Ketrin.
What?
She runs to the stairs.
No. I thought Kirsty was Kirsty was smarter than this.
So she ran
up the stairs.
So she only makes it up like the first little awning part. What's the little in between section?
Balcony-ish
thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She didn't even make it to the second floor.
Landing,
She's at like
I
the
think is
first
what it's
landing.
called.
Yeah. So it's like the first landing, which is like very close to the floor almost.
Yeah.
She's at the first landing. British Shoulder Pads grabs her. So now British Shoulder Pads is holding Kirsty on the first landing. Larry Frank has a switchblade and he slow walks towards them up the stairs and then stabs British Shoulder Pads.
Stabs British Shoulder Pads. Oh, shit.
And Kirsty runs now. Where? Where does she run? And where do you run?
Oh my God. I'm still running to the police station. That is where Ketrin is still fucking going. Does she run? Please don't tell me she runs up to the attic. Does she run up to the attic?
I'm actually going to give that point for her because it's actually kind of smart.
Okay.
So she runs up the stairs.
Okay.
And British Shoulder Pads is like, no, not me. And she's like, stabbed. And Larry Frank is just like, it's nothing personal, baby. Ooh. And then British Shoulder Pads like slowly starts to like get the life kind of like sucked out of like her droop face. Like it's like she turns into like a dried out skin. Ooh. Almost.
Gross.
And like melts away.
Jerky. Like people jerky.
So now Larry Frank cleans off the knife and goes upstairs. So Kirsty is at the top floor and she can go on either door. Does she go to the left or does she go to the right?
I'm going to go to the one that doesn't have the Cenobite, the not attic door, the other door. I can't remember which direction it is.
Okay.
And that's where I think she goes to. Yay, double ding.
So she goes to the left to hide. Now Larry Frank gets to the top floor and he's outside of the attic, like kind of about to open the attic. And inside the other room, Kirsty's like opening a closet and bam, a Jesus statue like falls out.
Fuck Jesus,
and is like,
get out of here.
Makes a noise and Larry Frank hears it. So then he turns away from the attic.
Fucking Jesus. God damn it.
And now she's hiding like in a corner. And Larry Frank opens the door and is like looking around. So we're kind of like down inside a corner and we're like kind of can see through the sheets almost like him. And she's still like kind of like moving around, like kind of trying to get back. And then bam, a dead body full of maggots pops out next to her. And then maggots just fall onto her. And I was like, oh God. And she just like covers her mouth, but it's still quiet. And I was like, yes, girl.
Stay quiet.
Good job.
Stay
Good
quiet.
job. And then Larry Frank leaves. And I was like, oh, fuck. So now Kirsty gets up. She opens the door and slowly looks out. And now she's standing at the top railing, kind of crying. And I'm like, shut up, shut up. The attic door opens and Larry Frank comes out behind her. Click. Switchblade. She freaks out and runs. Well, where does she go and where do you go?
She's at the top of the...
Yes.
So she's looking down the stairs.
She's at the top little landing.
Okay. And she just came out of the furniture room.
Right.
And Larry Frank just came out of the attic room.
But now he's in like the landing too. Yeah.
She goes up into the attic. I don't do that. I run out the door. I run out the fucking door of the house.
Again, this is where it gets... Okay. So she freaks out and like tries to kind of like get against the wall and she like slides like into the attic. Again, it's all on the same landing. It's not like up into the attic. It's just the doorway. Doorway.
Yeah. I just meant I go...
You go down.
Okay. Yeah.
He follows her. She like trips over Skelebody and she's like, Daddy. Because now she realizes it's her dad's body. And he says, everything's all right. Uncle Frank's here. Ugh. And she's like, you bastard. And then lights start slowly shining through the walls and slowly appear the Cenobites and then chains from everywhere with like bloody stuff hanging from them again. And then, or wait, no, not that. Chains from everywhere, bloody nail. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I'm with you.
Chatter slow walks to him, and they all start slow walking to him. And they say, Frank, we had to hear it from your own lips. So because he's still in Larry's body, once they heard in the attic.
They could. So that was actually smart of Kirsty.
So it was actually smart to go into the attic. And then he's like, you set me up, bitch.
Yeah, she did, bitch. Fucking Kirsty ain't here to play.
Mm-hmm. She goes to the door. He goes after her with the blade. He raises the blade and bam, a chain hooks into his hand.
Oh, God.
That was trying to stab her and drags him back. And then another chain hooks into the other hand and it's now holding him up. Both hands, both arms. All of the Cenobites are just watching. And then more hooks, more chains. Hook, 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 hook into all of his body and all of his face. And Frank is screaming and there's hooks everywhere. And his face is like literally like skin is being pulled apart.
God.
And then it's a close up on his face with like hooks pulling all apart and hooks all in him. And he just goes, Jesus wept. And then Kirsty runs out the door and then Frank Larry explodes.
Oh, shit.
Like it's like they pull him completely apart.
Fuck me.
Kirsty's now crying outside the attic. She runs downstairs, but Throat Hooks is below her already on the stairs. And she says, not leaving us so soon, are you?
Yes, I am leaving you, Throat Hooks.
Drags her little hook hand along the wall and blood just seeps from all of her hook areas. And the doors open and like lights are coming out of things. And Kirsty goes into the bedroom and there's some body laying there. Like, I don't know whose it is. It was confusing because the face is just, the skin has been completely peeled off. So it's just blood. It's just a blood face.
Yeah.
But it's just laying there with its arms kind of like its hands held together. And the skin had been peeled off by chain hooks. And like electric lights are still going on. And it looks like it's actually turned out it's holding the box.
The box. Okay.
So Kirsty goes up and tries to grab the box and Throat Hook comes in. Kirsty has the box now and she starts twisting it, like doing the little things.
Yeah.
And then now Pinhead is behind her and he says, we have such sights to show you.
Oh no, I don't want to see them. I'm good.
She turns and looks at Pinhead and says, oh shit. She's holding the box. What does she do? What do you do?
Oh my God. I'm just unclear about the lore at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I want to destroy the box. That is going to be what I think I have to do. So she and I are going to smash the box together.
Okay. I have no idea if that'll work, but it's worth a try.
Yeah.
She starts doing the puzzle thing. She hits something and it goes. And then they're like, no, don't do that. And she says, go to hell. And she like hits it one more time. And like electric things start coming. And Pinhead flashes to like lights and then disappears.
Oh.
It's like disappears.
Yeah.
Like she destroyed it.
Right.
Now Throat Hooks is coming. So she starts moving the box again.
Oh, to
and
destroy
now
them all.
Throat Hooks turns to lights and disappears.
Right.
So now we still have like flashing going on all around here. Kirsty, curly-haired Boyf, is outside at the front door now.
Oh, God. Boyf, get out of here.
She's running downstairs and the house starts just falling fucking apart around
God.
her. Like the fucking dirt is coming down, ceiling's coming down, like shit's getting fucking, it's a mess. The Boyf gets in and the ceiling is falling apart. Kirsty is like coughing. Oh, there's a doorway behind her at this point and there's like something just standing behind her in the doorway that's just covered in a plastic sheet.
Oh, God.
And I was like, no, it's Chatterteeth.
No.
And
Chatterteeth is my least favorite.
he grabs her and she just starts like beating it with the box. and then she like turns some more and then it turns to light and disappears.
Thank God.
And Kirsty is like a badass bee now.
Yeah.
Like at this point, she's kind of like, come fuck with me. Like it's like close-ups on her eyes just being like, Fucking try me now, bitches. Like,
Kim,
she is standing in her own.
I'm really worried because if my staying alive is dependent upon me solving a Rubik's Cube, I'm fucked.
It's not a Rubik's Cube. It's a, I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
It makes no clear sense either.
Okay.
Boyf is behind her now. She turns, but behind Boyf is Fat Neck Sunglasses.
Fat Neck Sunglasses, I forgot about him.
And Fat Neck Sunglasses takes off his sunglasses and he has sewn shut eyes. And Kirsty is like, Boyf? And he turns and sees Fat Neck and is like, no! And Fat Neck has a knife and raises his arm, and Boyf turns to see it, and he's like, oh shit, and then bam, the ceiling falls on Fat Neck.
Yay! Ceiling falls!
So Kirsty and Boyf hug, and they're like, let's get out of here. The box starts turning itself now, they're like, oh god, oh no. Okay, they're at the front door. Boyf is like having a hard time getting the candle open. He opens the door, she grabs him, no! They open the door, okay. It's nothing. It's okay. Bam! Creepy bug scorpion person comes in after them. She drops the box, but she's a badass bee now. And she's
Let's
like, oh,
do this.
Fuck no. Because now bug hand guy scorpion tries to grab it. And he's got weird bug arms. And she's trying to grab it. And he's trying to grab it. And Boyf throws a bottle at the bug. And it... Bug throws him against the wall. This is all very, very 80s. So now Kirsty keeps trying to grab the box, and then Bug Arm keeps trying to grab the box, and it's literally like, because it's so 80s. It's like pointy arm, bug arm. And she gets it. She gets the box. Kirsty gets the box. Boyf then, also, Boyf tries to grab it from her for like a second, and she like shrugs him off like, bitch, I got this,
bitch.
I got this. I don't need no man.
I love it.
She turns it again. Bug Scorpion turns to lights and disappears.
This bitch knows how to use the box.
She knows how to use a box. And she knew that curly head Boyf didn't.
Nope.
So Kirsty and Boyf slow walk to the doorway and go outside. The door slams shut behind them. It's raining. They kind of walk a little bit away and just start staring at the house, and it's just like lights flickering and shit inside. And then we cut to like a close-up of Hottie McFrankerson photo, and it's on fire, just like burning, melting away.
Oh shit.
And then fire. Like, I'm like, the entire house burned down, question mark?
Sure.
Because all of a sudden they're basically standing in a big empty lot with just piles of fire at different areas.
Burned down within 4 minutes.
There's literally just a couple piles of fire on like a big dirt lot and like one chair on fire. Like just one random wooden chair. Like somehow that chair survived more than anything else.
It's the 80s.
So right in the middle is like the main little fire part. And Kirsty throws the box into the fire.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So
I want to get
same
rid
page.
of this
Get rid
box.
of that shit. Fucking creepy guy
Oh, creepy
comes
guy.
walking up
that
from
ate the
across
bugs.
the way.
Yeah. Forgot about this motherfucker.
Walks up from the other direction, reaches into the fire for the box.
No.
He catches on fire. His entire body's on fire and then melts into a skeleton pterodactyl.
Sure.
thing?
Sure. Saw it
And
coming the whole time.
flies away with the box.
I was waiting for the skeleton pterodactyl, honestly.
Now the camera is just zooming out away from Kirsty and Boyf, you know, so it's like,
So we're like
so
bird's
they're
eye
getting
view.
smaller and smaller and smaller, and now we're just seeing a circle of them, and then it zooms out even more, and that is the circle of the box.
Uh-huh.
So now we're seeing again the box, and then we hear music, and we're on a table. The box is sitting at a table. We have two guys sitting on either side, and then we hear, "What's your pleasure, sir?" Cut to black.
What the fuck? So are they in the box?
I don't know.
Are we in a fucking Krampus scenario here?
I felt less like it was a Krampus scenario and more that it was just like the box was going to take someone new now.
Shit. I cannot wait to see all these pictures. I am so excited. I want to see Goopy Skelefrank at all stages of his metamorphosis. I want to see all the Cinnabons. I want to see badass bitch Kirsty, and I want to see British shoulder pads makeover. I'm very excited about that. I also want to see Hot Frank. I would like to see Hot Frank as well.
Yeah, you do.
I'll
show you some Hot Frankers.
I'm not usually into 80s hot, though. Was he hot anyway?
I think so.
I don't usually.
I mean,
That
just
sort
his,
of
like,
look doesn't do anything for me.
Just his sweaty candle start did it for me.
His sweaty what?
Candle start at the beginning.
Oh,
the very
candles.
beginning. What did you think I said?
Honestly, I don't know. That's so fun.
I have some super interesting trivia to tell you too, but I'll count up your points as well. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
What do I got?
You got, out of 33 points, 20 and a half points.
That's okay.
I feel like that's good for you, Ketrin.
Fuck you. That's pretty good for me.
So because I watched on Amazon, it came with awesome... They're not a sponsor for us, by the way, but if they'd like to be, we're open.
We're happy to have you.
But when you rent things on there... Oh, side note... Why are you throwing pens, bitch? Just threw my pen across the room. I got very excited.
Very excited about side notes.
Note, I just wanted to point out, does everyone know about Smile Amazon? Amazon Smile?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you buy through Smile and it donates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it'll donate like a percentage of everything that you buy. So I've bought things on Amazon before, but turns out even with Prime Video, you can do Smile through there too.
Shit.
So instead of just going to Amazon.com, go to smile.amazon.com.
Yeah.
And you can like pick your charity too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like I donate to OPCC, which is the homeless shelter that I volunteer at every week.
Oh, cool. I think I donate to the ACLU.
Yeah.
Or an animal thing. I can't remember. It's one of
So
those.
you can pick whichever you want, or I'm sure they have like a default one. Yeah, it's like a percentage
That's
for like
fucking
whatever
awesome.
you were doing. It's like
I know,
you
I
don't
love
even put
that.
any extra money in. It's like exactly what you were paying, and then they donate the money.
Yeah, I don't even remember like why I knew about that. But yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like it's like once I learned, I was like, oh shit. But like, I think a lot of people don't know. So
Yeah.
everyone should fucking use it because it's literally just you pay nothing
It's no
more.
skin off your back.
No skin off your back. You just
No
give-
fucking
help people.
Skelefrank for you.
You keep all your skin.
You keep
all
your skin.
So this film was originally supposed to be called The Hellbound Heart, after the novella upon which it was based, which was also
okay.
written by Clive Barker. The studio decided that that title sounded too much like a romance and asked him to change it.
I would agree.
So Barker offered Sadomasochists from Beyond the Grave, which
Pretty literal.
was
Pretty
rejected
literal.
for the overtly sexual content. He ultimately opened the floor to the production team to offer up their own suggestions, prompting a 60-year-old female crew member to offer up what a woman will do for a good fuck.
Stop it. That is amazing.
I know.
That is
So
amazing.
good.
You realize that's the name of this episode now.
Yes, what a woman will do for a good fuck.
I love it.
It's so funny. The studio planned on casting stuntmen for each of the Cenobites. And Clive Barker was like, no, he insisted on hiring actors. Because he's
Awesome.
like, even if they don't speak and they're under all this heavy makeup, he's like, their body language would still convey a personality. I thought that was really
That's
cool. And
awesome.
like shows
So
why he's
respectful
such
of
like a
actors.
good director.
Yeah.
Too. Like, I'm like, that means you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
This would be interesting. So there was some band called Coil that did the soundtrack originally. And Clive Barker said that Coil was the only group I've heard on disc whose records I've taken off because they made my bowels churn.
Oh, Jesus.
But the studio like decided they wanted to use a house band so they didn't have to pay royalties. But I guess you can maybe still find some of those songs that Coil recorded.
My bowels
They can be found on a
churn.
compilation CD, Unnatural History 2, Smiling in the Face of Perversity, or the unreleased themes from Hellraiser. Apparently they're both very
Shit.
rare, but maybe we'll try to find some.
Yeah.
Oh, also, because this was done in the 80s, apparently the MPAA had an agenda on the quote unquote intensity of tone. So as a result, he had to make several cuts to the film. Like consecutive hammer blows had to be cut, fingers entering flesh, S&M spanking between Julia and Frank.
Whoa.
Additional thrusts during the sex scene. So it all kind of had to like water down the
my
overall impact of the piece.
God.
And it's like interesting because you kind of see it going in those directions, and it's like it'll like cut away before that happens, you know?
Yeah.
Because even with like the hammer thing, like I even wrote like he hits again and again, but it was like it really was just like 2 hits.
Yeah.
Like, but like you would think it would be like again and again and again, you know?
Oh my God,
That
that's
was
so
interesting.
interesting. The 80s were weird.
Yeah.
80s were super weird.
The Chatterer and Butterball, who apparently are Chatter Teeth and Fat Neck, I would assume, had dialogue in the original script. However, when their makeup made coherent speech impossible, their lines were given to the female Cenobite and especially Pinhead, which helped to cement his reputation as the film's trademark character.
Oh shit. That is so it could have been that it
could
was
have
like
been.
Fat Neck was the
Yeah, like it
That's
just
so
ended up being
crazy.
because they couldn't fucking like talk. It took 6 hours to put on Pinhead's makeup.
Is it literally called Cenobites?
It's Cenobite, Cenobite. Many viewers have commented about the poor quality of the effects at the end of the movie. And Clive Barker has explained that due to a very limited budget, there was no money left to have effects done professionally after the primary filming. Instead, Barker and quote-unquote Greek guy animated these scenes by hand over a single weekend.
Shut up.
Barker has also commented that he thinks the effects turned out very well considering the amount of alcohol the two consumed that weekend.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
And last fact, Andrew Robinson, who played the role of Larry and then Skelefrank at the end,
Yeah.
convinced Clive Barker to replace the scripted line, "fuck you," with the line actually shot, "Jesus wept."
Which is so much scarier.
Right?
It's so much scarier.
Like I specifically wrote that down because I was like, oh, Jesus wept. That's interesting. Apparently it was scripted as "fuck you."
That's wow.
And it was the actor that was like, try
That's
this.
so much scarier.
Isn't that cool? So anyway, those are fun facts.
Yeah.
I loved it.
That's
I loved
so
it
fun.
so much. I give it all the skin.
All the skin.
I give it all my skin and my box.
I love it.
That's it.
Yeah. Cool. This was
So
we raised some hell.
We raised some hell. Yeah, guys, that's all we got. We're gonna take our golem and get out of here.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Please
Forever.
share us with your friends and tell people about us and write some reviews.
Yeah, we should have a Patreon up soon if we don't already have it up by the time you're listening to this episode. And go check out our merch and write us some reviews so you can get a free mug. And also go watch The Golem. The Golem.
And so this has been Kim and Ket Stay Alive. Maybe.
So until next time.
Stay alive.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Ghosted me.
I'm done.